I realize a lot changed, but the very first item, the word buggy was removed.
Were you okay with it, Terry? Yeah?
Did yours pop yet? Mine popped. Is everybody ready?
Let's do this.
I'd like to call the Oglesby City Council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Here.
Udis.
Here.
McDermott.
Here.
Stefani.
Here.
Kern.
Here. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Number 4, public comment on agenda items only. Seeing that there are none. Next item, number 5, approved minutes from September 18th, 2023, City Council meeting. I will say that these, this is the third time we've attempted to get these approved. I won't rehash all the things I said in the past, but if you look at what the minutes are, they're very,
Excuse me.
they're summarized even more. There is no summary items on any of the action items. They just have basically who made the motion, the seconded, and then the vote count, and that's about really it.
I'd like to make a motion that we pass the agenda minutes for September 18th.
Stand by. I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity, if anybody has any additions, recommendations, or removals first. Is there anything anybody would like to change, modify, or add? Okay. If there's nothing anybody would like to modify, I'll take a motion to approve action.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
No. Number 6, approved minutes from October 16th, 2023, City Council meeting. These minutes are roughly the same. Granted, they have not been the last 3 meetings approved for, but they are down to just no summaries, just the actions of what was approved in the vote count.
I would like to approve the minutes from the October 16th, 2023 council meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
No. Number 7, approved bills as presented for payment in the amount of $190,216.51.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills if there's no discussion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 8, approve October 27th, 2023 payroll in the amount of $105,933.22.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 9, I believe we have a request to make a motion change in the order.
Yeah, I would
Correct?
like to make a motion that we move number 11 to number 9, or 10 to number, reverse 10 to 9. So that, or I'm sorry, 11
move
with
it.
9.
Just to move it up.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that Greg Vaccaro can do his presentation on DigiTicket.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Since that's moved up, next item will be presentation by Greg Vaccaro on DigiTicket. Mr. Vaccaro. If you could, please. That way they could hear you.
Yeah, you may have to just turn the microphone on.
Yeah, probably needs to. Should be right
There's a
underneath.
switch right on
Should
the
be a switch
mic.
under the underneath side.
No.
Should be up, right?
There we go.
Great, thank you. I'm Greg Vaccaro, LaSalle County Circuit Clerk. I've been in office for 7 years. I've also spent 24 years as the Peru Police Commissioner, served on the state board. We're always looking to stay ahead of everything that we can. I'm part of the Judicial College, and in the state of Illinois, as you know, your police department is already working on body cams. We are also being very progressive with e-citations, and I'm just going to spend a couple minutes of your time explaining that. E-citations is another event that you'll be seeing that'll be mandatory down the road. The state police have been using electronic citations for probably 5 or 6 years. I now have the city of Peru's been on for a few years, city of Ottawa, a few months, city of Ottawa probably 2 months. Working with your chief, who does a great job, he's staying ahead of the game also. We are prepared to go into a contract with a company called DigiTicket. So let's explain this. E-citations is an electronic way of writing violations. There's probably 6 or 7 vendors out there, but I have chosen DigiTicket. By doing that, I paid for integration with DigiTicket into our case management system, which cost me $45,000. That means you don't have to pay that. But that's a vendor now that we're using with the LaSalle County deputies, the city of Ottawa, the city of Peru, and now with your chief's help, the city of Oglesby. The cost for that for the first year, I'm paying for. It's about $7,500. We're very excited that we can take care of that for the first year. The nice thing about DigiTicket, they're very on top of service. And the other thing is, we don't have to sign a long-term contract. With a 90-day notice, we can get out of that. But by having the agencies all serving with the same vendor, we can work together. When we have a problem, we talk to Ottawa, Peru, and the LaSalle County group, and then we can solve the problem. Here's how it works. You get pulled over for a speeding ticket. The officer has to come up to your car, take your license, registration, insurance card, go back to his card, and now he's writing on a multi-part form. If you've written anything on a 5-part form, guess what? Part 5 is not readable. Part 4 maybe. The other problem we have is officers don't have the best handwriting. So it's real easy on those long VIN numbers or date of birth that there's a mistake. With DigiTicket, they take your driver's license, they scan it, and it fills the fields up. Okay, so there's no writing involved, very little. Then there's boxes they can check for the violation. Again, I don't have to read handwriting. Every day, we get about 75 tickets a day brought to our office. Probably 10 or 15 of them are not readable, or there's mistakes on them. Wrong birth date. We had a guy one day wrote Peru, Iowa. I mean, we can't go to court like that. So what do? We reject them. Your officers have to drive those tickets over to Ottawa, drop them off. When they come back the next time, here's your pile. You need to figure these out, correct them, bring them back to us. That's half an hour over, half an hour back, constantly. With DigiTicket, you hit send. They upload. You don't have to have your officers driving back and forth. The other good thing about it, being a police commissioner, which I like about it, less time on the side of the road. Go out there tonight, it's dark. Nights when it's windy, nights when it's raining, nights when it's snowy. Right now, they go back to their car, they scan that license, cuts the time way down. A lot safer for your officers, a lot safer for your citizens who don't have to be sitting on the side of the road. It's a great program. The state police uses something different than DigiTicket, not as advanced. They cannot upload their tickets and send them to us. They have to drive them over to Ottawa on a daily basis and drop them off. You'll be able to hit send and upload them. Working with your chief, who understands this and sees this, he's in front of the game. He understands, he listens to what we're saying. It's a great program, and I'm excited to be able to pay for the first year for that. After that, he'll be looking at his budget and see ways to cut. What we did is we put the city of Oglesby into the contract along with the LaSalle County Deputy's Office. That keeps the price down. If he had to do it on his own, the price would almost be double. So there's a lot of advantages to it. There's a lot of ways we work on it. But by having a lot of the cities, and we're working on others yet, we'll be able to work as a group. We won't have the mismatch you have so many times with a program here, a different program there. We were being progressive, and by me doing the integration made a big difference. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, but I wanted to make sure you understand that your police department's on top of it. Between the Chiefs Association our communication with our office, working with the other departments, we all want to do what's best for not only keeping the safety of our officers, but your citizens, and getting this into a more efficient program. So, do you have any questions I can answer? Yes, sir.
One question comes to mind. You said you'd pay for the first year?
Yes.
How much is it after that? I
Uh,
haven't heard that at
Yeah, 7,500 or
all.
less.
Okay, so it doesn't raise.
Well, and I'll try to do my best with that, because when you sign a 5-year contract, they usually tell you 2 years no raise, next year 3%, next year 5%. I can't answer that carefully. I can tell you that talking to Sean Sickling, I would think years 2 were okay. After that, it depends on your squads. The city of Peru, the department in the county, they have equipment in their cars that lowers the price because of the computers they have. If you upgrade your cars and you have different computers, you may not need the leased equipment that's currently being priced out. So I would say year 2, and that's a question we might need to get answered for the rest of your commissioners. Where would we be in year 2 or 3? We will get that answer for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Depends on the amount of cars, depends on the equipment of the car.
The equipment.
County.
County.
Here's how that works. We're very lucky, but every time you get pulled over, I get $8 out of that speeding ticket. The city gets 3, okay? I build that fund up. It started off pretty slow, especially with COVID. A lot of tickets weren't being written. Now I have a pile of money in that account. I'm using it for this. That $45,000 was paid out of that fund to get us integrated into that system with that one vendor. Now, as we build that money up, I'm going to the different departments at the Chiefs Association and see who's interested. Your chief was very interested. And by partnering up with the sheriff, Adam Diss, he allowed us to piggy-tail in with his system, which saved us more money. So that's how it works. When I collect that $3, it builds up, and as I get enough monies in, I can probably help with the first year. In Oglesby's case, I'm paying for the entire amount. For the bigger cities like Peru, it's a one-time flat fee that I'm paying. I'm not paying for all of their cars. I can't. It's too much money. Any other questions?
We appreciate that. I mean, obviously going to some kind of digital format is the next evolution of some kind of technology we have to, I mean, I love the idea. Obviously, it keeps the officers off the side of the road longer, the less hazardous conditions. I'd be curious to know how much we have just in raw savings of driving tickets over all the time. I mean, there's
Savings there.
savings there. I don't know
We're
if
a
it's the
small
whole
department,
price,
so every
but
time we have somebody go over there, we're one short in town.
that's true too. I mean, so there's obviously a lot of advantages here to look for. I think that's great.
Yeah, you don't realize, but LaSalle County has 33 different cities and towns and agencies out there. We got Ransom, we have Earlville, we have Seneca, LaSalle, Peru. I mean, it's easy for Ottawa. They just drive down the block and they're with us. But in your case, it's an hour, and if there's visiting, looking at tickets, an hour and a half. That officer's not on patrol. He's in Ottawa handing us paperwork. This will solve that.
Is this traffic tickets only, or?
Violations, so any type of violation, it can be parking tickets, it can be all kinds of tickets. Accident reports, stuff like that.
Well, that's a whole different,
It's
that's significant then. We're not talking just fines and pulling people over for fines. We're talking any kind of citation.
Most of it is fines and fees, a little bit more. That's another reason why I went with DigiTicket. They're very advanced, they're looking at all kinds of stuff that's gonna help, like accidents and stuff like that. They're very progressive. It's a young company. It's a lot of young college kids. The company the state of Illinois signed their contract with, 10-year contract, is nowhere near what DigiTicket's doing.
Is this the same because I know Peru has a program, if you get in a car accident or something like that, they give you something there, and then that way you can go and request your.
That's not
your
part of
expert.
this.
That's something different then?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of these cities have different programs that help with certain aspects of what they do. This is more violations. It's not the more intense stuff.
Okay.
All right? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
so much.
Greg.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I think we're going, someone's going up there next, so. Okay, next on the item is audit presentation by Hopkins and Associates.
Okay, I am mainly gonna go through this handout, so. You wanna,
There's a lot of handouts that are in the little binder here. Which one in particular is it?
the one that Becky gave you with the audit,
Starts off financial
Financial
summary.
summary?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds
I'm Samantha from Hopkins and Associates, for those of you that do not know me, I have been doing this audit for, I don't even know, Becky, anymore, 10 years? 8? Long time. Really long time. Okay, the city received an unqualified audit opinion, which basically states that your financials are prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Like I said, I'm kinda just gonna go over this financial summary. There's 2 written pages, and then there's just there's 2 comparison sheets. The first comparison sheet is the comparison of your cash balances for 2023, 22, 21, 20, and 2019. And what that does is, that shows you guys your cash increase over those years. In 2019, you started with like 3.5 million, and in 2023, you ended with 11.2 million. So that's a pretty good comparison over the years for you guys to look at, that obviously cash is rising. Overall, the cash position of the city of Oglesby increased by 1,698,782 from April 30th of 2023 to April 30th of 2022. At year end, the cash balance is 11,276,361. The cash balance in unrestricted funds, which is your general, electric, water, sewer, and sanitation, increased by 544,361 during the year and ended up at 7,944,335. At the end of 2023, interfund transfers were made to get fund balances and all funds to be positive. Cash and restricted funds increased by 1,154,421 during the year end. The next page is a comparison, or I'm sorry, your last page. It's a financial analysis by fund. That shows the difference in revenue, expenses, transfers, and loan proceeds and profit and loss compared between 2023 and 2022. Overall, for the year ended April 30th of 2023, the city as a whole had a net profit of $2,463,246 compared to a net profit of last year of $3,262,296. Some of that difference is like that federal money that you got last year. I think you got more last year than you got this year. That obviously is done now, so you won't be expecting to see some of that anymore. CARES money, I think you spent all of it. If you haven't, you need to by the end of the year, I believe. The general fund had an operating income for fiscal year 2023 of $105,394 prior to considering transfers in and loan proceeds. This is a decrease of net operating income in the prior year of $372,756. Net transfers in from other funds this year was $458,007, and loan proceeds were $230,050, which ended up with a net profit of $793,451. Revenue for 2023 was $3,664,550, which was compared to last year of $3,416,609. Expenditures in the general fund was $3,559,156 for 2023 and $3,043,853 in 2022. Some of those major difference, increase in replacement tax of like about $84,000. That is expected to decrease next year, so just expect that to be going down, especially like when you're doing your budget and everything. I think some places are talking about like a 20 to 30% decrease in that, so just, I think they give you a year out advance on that, on what you're supposed to get. So just make sure you're like looking out for that. You got an increase in building permits due to that expansion, increase in IVCC overtime, increase in insurance proceeds due to your ambulance accident that there was. Loan proceeds of $230,000, and that was to help purchase a new ambulance. The main in the expenditures that was due to the increase was the equipment purchase for the new ambulance, the police cameras and vehicle equipment, radios and the server. There was also an increase in engineering fees for the safe route to school project. The TIF fund has an operating income for the fiscal year of $1,230,995 prior to transfers in. This is an increase from net operating income in the prior year. Increases was mainly due to the property tax. Your TIF one is closing at the end of the year. Becky and I have discussed this, just make sure you are transferring the money to your other TIF by the end of the year, or you have to give that money back, so just, you don't obviously wanna do that. The electric fund had income of $567,515 compared to $1,357,110 for 2022. Of this profit, $1,053,112 was transferred out to other funds to eliminate their negative balances. The main difference in this is like the purchase power adjustment decreased by $77,000 due to the change in rates. Last year you also received more money from GTI than you did this year. It was down around $111,000. There was an increase in wages and health insurance expenses. Also an increase in electric purchases by $174,000. And then you did purchase an electric truck and did improvements this year, which also then in turn increased your depreciation. The water fund had an operating profit of $243,386 for 2023 compared to $420,703 for 2022. Revenues remained pretty consistent with last fiscal year. Water equipment and meters were purchased through the fiscal year, which also then in turn increased your depreciation. And there was an increase in repairs and maintenance of around $164,000 this year. Sewer and sanitation user fees and expenses were pretty consistent with last fiscal year. In your other funds and revenues, which is like your MFT, your park, like those funds, they had a operating loss this year of $280,189 prior to the transfers. This is an increase, a decrease, because last year you also had a loss in your prior year of $343,615. Overall, the city had like a good financial year. Unrestricted cash continues to increase and grow, which is also important, and the city is slowly rebuilding the reserves necessary to replace infrastructure. At the end of the fiscal year, the city did have outstanding long-term liability of $1,222,965. Also in your audit packet, there is a management letter which was previously sent out to the board, and a SAS 114 letter which states that there was no disagreements with management. Any questions?
No, I just want to thank you. I know it's kind of dry stuff and everything. I really appreciate you
That was a lot
diving
of
in there.
numbers.
I also appreciate anytime you see some issues, things that we can do better. Like one of them, for example, you give a recommendation on how to do something about our rates and deposits,
Yeah.
and we're taking action on that tonight with, which one is it here? Down to number 14 and stuff like that. So I do appreciate that. You know, some of these numbers, it's tough to look at for everything. So anytime we can get feedback on how we can actually improve our processes is always better. So,
Yeah.
thank you. Do we have anything else for?
Yeah, Samantha, I want to thank you for all the work you did for us and your patience with us. And I want to thank our city treasurer, Paul Danicus, and Becky for all the work that they did to get you everything that you needed. There was a lot of work that had to go into it on the front end, so I don't want it to go unnoticed.
Yes,
So,
I'm very
I-
appreciative of Becky.
Yeah. Well, we all are on a
Very
regular
true.
basis. Other than that, the only question that I have is, the packet that you gave us, is this standard to what you've had over the past years as far as the financial summary and the letter for the,
Yeah.
for the elected folks?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Appreciate it.
have a good night. Thank you, guys.
You
Thank
too.
you.
All right, next up after that was accept and place on file the fiscal year 23 audit. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge,
Aye.
Udis,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 12, approve resolution R-110623-2, Mabus intergovernmental agreement. Commissioner Hughes, did you want to speak about this at all? a little
Yeah,
bit?
so Mavis is our mutual aid box alarm system. We're a member of Division 25. It's a formality. What do we do this, Pat? Every like 3 years, I believe we have to renew
Actually, it's
this.
been longer than that, I
Has
think,
it?
Terry, yeah. This whole system started, I think, in 1988. And it's been upgraded over the years, but your board considers changes every once in a while, and they updated this agreement. I read through every word of it, I didn't have any problems with it.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff. So unless somebody has any questions, I'm prepared to make a motion to move forward with it. Make a motion, what's that here?
Adopt resolution
Oh,
number
resolution, yeah.
110623, Terry.
Number 12.
Adopt resolution R-110623-2, the Mavis Intergovernmental Agreement.
And I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Aldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 13, place bids for Malik Substation upgrade equipment on file. Commissioner Baldridge, you want to speak to this at all?
Yeah, we received 2 bids here through BHMG, and I'm looking to make a motion to place the bids on file for approval next meeting.
Do we want to
I'll
place it on
second
file?
it.
Did you say motion?
Yeah, he made.
Okay, I misunderstood, okay.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second, roll call, please.
Aldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 14, approve city enrollment in Illinois funds and the moving of funds. Commissioner Stefani, do you want to speak to this at all?
Nah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear cut. Becky, did you wanna offer any comment on it?
That we need to do a recommendation of the auditor.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Funds into, an interest-bearing account.
we obviously wanna make money on our money, so that was one of her recommendations, and I think without beating it up too hard, it's pretty self-explanatory, so.
It's a good thing, all right. Any other questions? Can I get a motion in a second?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 15, ordinance number 1240-110623, which address abandoned vehicles in the city. This is one of the things that one of the many things we talked about for a while, a lot of things that we're trying to kind of rectify and fix, whether it's something in the building code, or this is one that wasn't necessarily in the building code, but kind of gives our guys the opportunity to be able to get some of these vehicles on people's properties that shouldn't be there anymore. Commissioner Udis, do you want to talk anything more about it?
I'll let
specifically?
Pat expand more, but basically what we had to do is find a way to get vehicles removed from private property. And I think when Pat dug into the ordinance, he found out that it was pretty outdated and had to rewrite the whole thing.
It was very outdated, and we could have tried to tweak it, but it was just better to replace it all, I thought. We looked at several different comparison ordinances in surrounding communities, and the Illinois Municipal League had some suggestions too, so Colin and I tried to put the best of all of it together to come up with this ordinance. There are notice provisions, you'll see in there, Mike, when you look at it, so you'll need to follow those, but, you know, basically you can move forward and finally tow these vehicles that you've been thinking about.
The funny thing, I just have to feel like I gotta make a mention of it.
The buggy?
Yeah, so I'm looking at it, I wanna look at what the new write-up was versus the old one, just so I can understand what all the major changes was. And the very first change I saw was the definition section, which was originally written in 1966, included buggies, and it's been removed. So I don't know what's more interesting, the fact that in 1966, somebody included buggies in it, or that it took us 57 years to finally decide to take buggies off.
It could encompass golf carts now.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I gotta
Instead
get
of
a
buggies.
change. All right, any questions, concerns over that at all? In that case, if no one has any questions, concerns, if we could take a motion to approve it.
Make a motion, we approve ordinance number 1240-110623.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Aldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 16, Resolution R-110623-1, accept grant from IHDA. My understanding is this is another, seems like there's always some kind of requirement we're having to do with this Strong Communities program grant, which, great program, finds ways to be able to pay for some of our items that we want to be able to clean up for properties, but it seems every other week there's a new thing that needs to get approved with it, so that's basically what it is. Anybody have any questions, concerns over that? In that case, if I can get a motion to, I think we can just straight up approve this one, right? Because we've been approving everything with this.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, Jason, and I didn't see it on my agenda, but my agenda, I think I got from Becky earlier last week, probably. What are they asking you to do, I guess?
It's this thing here. I feel like we've approved a whole bunch of this. There's another thing for the grant thing here.
I think a motion would be in order to authorize the signatures of Jason and Ryan, who's the grant administrator, on the officer certificate of incumbency for
Yes.
this grant. And there's a resolution here too, Becky, did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And to approve the resolution for that authorization. I think the, get to the last line, yeah. It just authorizes your signature on the certification, Jason.
But I feel like I've signed these a lot already, and unless it's like one of those things that you just approve and it constantly new things keep coming up with it or something, I'm not sure, but, okay.
This is necessary if we want the money.
So that's
And
what I'm
we need
saying.
the money.
Are we not, are we not gonna approve it? I mean, all right, in that case, if I can get a motion to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge,
Aye.
Udis,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 17, Attorney General Access Bureau response. I kept it as just general on there. I don't know, if our city attorney wants to address that at all.
Well, the city council received a letter from the Attorney General's office under their PAC provisions, requesting a response in relation to request as to whether or not the membership violated the Open Meetings Act when they sent a letter to their attorneys, which I think it came to me and a couple other attorneys
It
too.
went to all three of our attorneys.
Kind of contradicting something that maybe Jason communicated to them previously. They specifically want to know whether the signing and sending of the letter constituted a final action under a specific section of the Open Meetings Act, and whether the council took this action at a public meeting. So there's a very defined response they're looking for. And I've read the letter several times. I've read 202C several times. The letter does not request any action at all. It was simply an informative letter. It didn't take any action. So my suggestion is that the council authorize me to respond to this inquiry. It's due in 2 days, to just indicate that my legal opinion and the council's opinion is there was no final action taken, and therefore there was never any discussion about that at the meeting. I think that will satisfy their inquiry. They will send a response back to the complainant, and if the complainant doesn't say anything, I think it will just go by the wayside.
I'm fine with all of that, Pat, and I'm fine with letting you write it because it is addressed to me because I was the first signature on there.
Correct.
If this goes any further, I am gonna make my caveat right now that all the things in my reply that I was ready to reply back to them be sent to them. All the attachments, everything as far as meeting minutes, the agenda, all of it. So I'm fine with you writing the letter. If they come back and they want something more, then that's where I'm asking, and I'm going on record right now saying that we send it to them.
Yeah.
And we send them everything, even the language that I put in my letter, which I'm happy to turn over to you.
Yeah, as I suggested to you, Tony, in our phone call, I think there is no sense making more of this than we have to.
Should have never been here to begin
Yeah,
with.
I think it's time that we try to just be calm and respond as we're requested to do and put this behind us.
Well, I'll make a
Pat,
motion.
would this be considered a breach of confidentiality between the lawyer-client privilege?
To what?
Why, how was this announced? This
How?
letter that we sent were supposed to be only sent to our attorney. It's now gonna be made public, so I was just wondering if it's a violation of the attorney-client privilege.
I don't think so. A violation of the attorney-client privilege would be communications regarding something specific, I would say. I don't see this as a violation of the attorney-client privilege at all.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'll make a motion that we have Pat answer the gentleman, and let's get it done.
we good with that? Need a
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge,
Aye.
Get it
Udis,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye,
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
I'll take care of it tomorrow, gentlemen.
thank you.
Thank you.
18, old business. I don't think I have anything listed on it for old business. 19, new business. Discuss future of fire/EMS services. Commissioner Hughes, did you want to speak to this at all?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be very brief. I think what I wanna do is just send this to the ambulance board, but I just wanna, I've touched on this at several meetings leading up here, actually going back months. Our ambulance department, the way that we're structured with our part-time personnel, we're probably not gonna be able to continue that model and provide service to our citizens because we just don't have the personnel to do it. When Kathy retires, she's working an insane amount of hours to fill all the voids. Sometimes as many as 200 hours in an 80-hour, 2-week period. And I don't think anybody in their right mind who takes her spot would continue to do that for a 40-hour-a-week salary, which is what she's compensated right now. And ethically, it makes me feel bad that she's putting in that kind of work. We need to really, as a council, look at this, figure out how we're gonna provide this service going forward, look at all of our options. I have reached out and gotten some RFPs from some private services. I've also reached out to a company by the name of McGrath Consulting, who does feasibility studies for cities like ours, and they've done a lot of work locally. And what they'll do is they will look at everything, our finances, how we can fund the model, what will be best for our city, and come back with some recommendations. And the cost of that study, I could tell you, would be not to exceed $26,900. It would take several months to put together. They would talk to all of the ambulance personnel, get their opinions, especially Kathy's, talk to the fire chief. They would talk to all the commissioners, to certain citizens, and we'd figure out a way to move forward. I don't want to speak prematurely. I think right now our best option is to let the ambulance board review this, give this their honest, opinion, and see if they have a recommendation. And if they feel the same way, then my personal feeling is I'm leaning towards the feasibility study, I think is the best way to go, but I don't want to commit to that until they have the opportunity to review it as a board.
Commissioners, I appreciate being proactive over all this stuff, because we know it's been a problem for a little bit and trying to find a solution going forward. With the proposal thing you had here, one of the things that interests me is it talked about here how they're gonna wanna work with the different city officials, fire department leadership, EMS departmental leadership, different individuals and stakeholders. One of the reasons I really like the idea of it going to the ambulance board is so that way we get a group of people to make sure we can ask really good questions. Because if they were to come to me tomorrow, I'm sure you would have great input to them. I don't know how much great questions I can even ask them. You know what I'm saying?
understand.
So having our board come together with making great questions and stuff will give us, I think, even a better product. So I think it's a good idea. So, any other questions, concerns, topics on that?
Yeah, I just want to say, Terry, I want to compliment you because, this is no short order type thing right here. You definitely have the hardest and the biggest challenge facing this city for the future. I would just say to the residents that this is one of the things that makes Commissioner Udis and I very much on the same wavelength a lot of the time, is because it's near and dear to us. Both of us have made our career in paramedicine working on an ambulance. So, Terry, I just want to compliment you. I appreciate you taking the torch on it, and you have all of my help and whatever I can do to make this go for you.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Tony.
All right.
So with that, I will make a motion that we forward this to the ambulance board for review.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 20, public comments over any topic. Nice, we're gonna get out of here early. Barring none, we will move on to commissioner reports. Commissioner Stefanelli.
Thank you. I want to start off by apologizing for how contentious the last meeting became. As I've stated oftentimes, whether it's us up here as the elected folks, the people who come to the podium, we all represent this city. And we can argue on the merits of an argument, we can take a position, we can discuss it, we can beat it up. At the end of the day, we can have a final vote on it. But I just never liked the idea of caricaturing people and name calling and that kind of thing. It's a standard that I'm gonna hold myself to. I wanna thank the clerk's office for all their hard work in putting together the Harvest Fall Fest. And I also want to thank all the volunteers that graciously gave of their time. It was great, and it was a wonderful experience. I want to give a special thanks to Jacqueline Smith for her efforts in getting the city cell phones and the council tablets prepared for us to use. And again, I want to thank Samantha from Hopkins and our treasurer Paul Danicus and Becky for all the time and the effort that they put into that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Udis.
I want to just recognize our fire department. They've been very busy this last couple of weeks. On October 24th, they had a working fire. It's actually a 4-unit complex. 1 unit was involved. There was $70,000 worth of damage. We received auto aid from Peru, Tonica, and Utica, and there were no injuries on that fire. Then we had another working fire on November 2nd. At 490 Illinois Route 351. Damage was $65,000. Auto aid from LaSalle, Peru, Tonica, Utica. Again, no injuries. Both of the fires are being investigated by the state fire marshal. Other thing I have is, sounds like our tender truck is going to be coming probably sometime, if not this month, early next month. So, reminder to Commissioner Stefanelli to get with Mr. Tursulik from the Fire Protection District so that we can pay them. We already got our money from the ARPA funds, so that's already been paid to the vendor. So that money has come to us already. We're good at that end. We just need, what's happening is we're taking out the loan and the Fire Protection District is paying us the payments. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Commissioner McDermott.
I would just like to, as a reminder, if you haven't turned in lead line surveys, it is a EPA requirement. I'm asking citizens for your help. Also, the leaf vac is currently underway. It looks like we're on schedule. Just please put it on the berm. Don't put your leaves on the street, please. And gentlemen, I'd like to talk to council. We received this information about the IML. I'm interested in looking into this. It'll help the board. Want anybody's opinion on it, I'd appreciate it. I for one think it's a good idea moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Baldridge.
At this time, I'd like to ask the Parks and Recreation Director, J.P. Rose, to step forward with a few words, please.
Just want to talk real quick on a couple bullet points here. The BB Gun Club will be starting on November 9th. That's for the beginners. That's at 4 p.m. We moved it up an hour, just because people are having scheduling conflicts with their kids with basketball and other activities, so we decided to move it up an hour for them, for the more convenience of it. Then we have the All Shooters coming in at December 13th. I'm going to be pushing hard on the sign-ups on that. It's online, but we do have paper forms here for citizens to come and fill out for their kids. Then we got the Skills and Drills Basketball League. That's also, we actually switched it for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders from the 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's going to start January 16th from 6 to 7 p.m. at Lincoln School. Like I said, signups are online, but there are paper forms here. And these next couple weeks, I'm going to be pushing hard on social media on the City of Oglesby's Facebook page and the Parks and Recreation Facebook page. Lastly, our drain covers down at the pool expired at the end of the 2023 season. We have to replace these 4 drain covers every 5 years due to the VGBA Compliance Act, which requires a safe and secure connection between the cover and the sump. These drain covers normally cost around $2,000 a piece when buying directly from the manufacturer, but after some research, we were able to find them on Amazon for $320 a piece with a total price of $1,279, which saved the taxpayers a total cost of $6,720. That's
That's great.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
JP.
JP.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. There you go.
I also have more here, message from the electric department. He just spoke to the construction manager from Surf Internet. He told him that, they've been getting some complaints regarding the unfinished work. He told him that in the next 2 to 3 weeks, they will be coming back to finish the riser guards on poles, clean up and finish yard restorations. He asked him about the lines running the top of ground to the houses. He said they will be buried also, usually within a couple weeks of initial hookup of service. That is another company who does that part. I'd also like to thank everyone for the Harvest Fest. It was a great success. The weather was beautiful. We went through all of the hot dogs. I'd like to thank the clerk's office for all their work coordinating this event and all the city employees who helped that day. Also my fellow commissioners for helping out hand the hot dogs and clearing up after the event. I also have a report on the disc golf. It seems as if the word is out. Our disc golf course is getting a lot of action already. I received this report about disc golf from Wes Black today. He states, "It was a crazy great weekend at the Starved Rock Disc Golf Course. It is not officially open because the signs are not installed yet, but I wanted people to get to play in this nice weather, so I installed the baskets last weekend with the understanding that it is not open yet. I created the course on the UDisc app this Friday, which gives a nice map and hole layouts and distances. This weekend, there were 3 or 4 groups playing at all hours of the day. Parking lot had 8 to 12 cars at all time. I probably saw 50 different people playing it while I was out there, some families and people that I didn't recognize. Most of them played several rounds. I played 5 rounds this weekend. Aces that he heard about. Hole 9 short, Jake P. Hole 12 short, Spencer K. Hole 16 short, Ty E. He saw golfers from Oglesby, LaSalle, Peru, Spring Valley, Lawston, Tonica, Cedar Point, Winona, Princeton, Ottawa, Streeter, DeKalb, Peoria, Bloomington, Minooka, Granville, and Washington. I have only heard great things about the course. Well done, Oglesby, and well done, Wes Black. Thank you very much."
Moving forward, appreciate that. Great way to utilize the good weather we've been blessed with here. A couple things I got is this Saturday for Veterans Day, the Oglesby American Legion will be having a ceremony at Memorial Park. It's going to start at 11 a.m., but at 10:45 is when they're going to start their march from the American Legion down to the park. On Saturday, December 9th, the city's going to have its Christmas program. It's going to be labeled Hometown Christmas. That's going to be from 2 to 4 p.m. And then following that will be We Are Oglesby's second annual winter parade. Last year, they did a lot of great work it's a lot of work anytime you have to put the first event of something coming up, and they did a great job. So I'm expecting to have even better things this year, so please check that out. Last thing I have is, this weekend, a wiser man than me had a homily that said something about the main thing is the main thing, and I just it had me think about stuff. I know we've had a lot of different contentious stuff that happens here at the council, and they're important items. They are important items. But when you take a look at the bigger picture of what's going on in the world, just a little over a week ago on the East Coast, there were some life-changing events that happened there. Pretty serious stuff. And then weeks before that, on the other side of the world, we have even crazier things, world-changing stuff. So when you take all that kind of stuff in perspective, it makes you realize that maybe some of the stuff that you're talking about and arguing about is relatively petty in nature. So I recognize that it's still important, but we need to be able to find a way to, I do hope that next meeting, we're going to put a lot of stuff on the agenda, not for it to be contentious, but we need to find a way to hit some finality with some of these things so we can move on, right? Because as someone said, the main thing, we do a lot of good things right now in the city. City business is still happening, right? Economic development is happening. It's slower than I'd like it to be because we spend a lot of time on a lot of other stuff. So we need to get back to having the main thing being the main thing. So that's all I got. I do think there's not a point of order from the audience. There would not be a point of order even during a report here in the first place. So I appreciate that you might want to have something to speak, but I just want to make sure to keep the decorum. The opportunity was I'm not being rude, but the opportunity was to speak at the public comment.
I really thought you'd say it right now.
Go ahead. What was that?
In the utility bill says that
Okay.
the meeting is next week, not the 20th.
Okay.
Is that a misprint?
It must be a misprint. I don't know anything about it. Thank you for that. Please, though, that's a great comment to have during the public comments. I'm not being rude. I just want to keep it there. So if there was something about that, we'll look into it. I don't know anything about that. Okay. Well, Again, great opportunity before the meeting or even during public comment if you don't feel comfortable with that. And we can get something like that fixed and we can get it on Facebook, probably fix whatever the error was, okay? I do think we wanted to talk in closed session. No action items are planned afterwards. They are believed they're just to be, some update stuff. Let me get my cheat sheet here. I'd like to go into closed session for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee or legal counsel for the public body, and pending or probable litigation against, affecting or on behalf of the public body. Those are the only items we have, just for some updates for the council. If I can get a motion,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. All right, thank you very much, everybody. I do not expect any action items after closed session. Have a great night. Sorry, Greg, I wasn't trying to be mean to you or anything.
Are you planning on going to the appreciation day? I didn't know anything about it. Okay, it's next Saturday. I can have an email sent to you. Please do. I will. Okay.
Yeah, and it took me a second, but then I saw it was you.
Mics are back on, guys.
All right. All right, can we get a motion to go back in open session?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. No more action items. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Udis.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. 1 hour, 12 minutes. And a closed session. It's not too bad. How's things going, Pat? Did you see the email I sent in regards to what I sent to Mac as well about the